Hello and welcome to PDQ Live. Today is PDQ Q&A and we have Josh. Josh, your record's 80.
We're not getting that today.
Let's break it.
No.
Let's break it.
Record is 81. Before we jump in, I have to say this is also the...
Yep.
And we do something, let's make it even more confusing. We do something called Package Wednesday. That's when all the new packages come out. Jake, if you want to throw us up there on the TV. So there's our Package Wednesday intro slide. Isn't it nice? It's just lovely.
Nice. Beautiful.
Okay, so let's move on. Here's the new packages that you're going to find in the package library. The .NET Framework 8 and eDrawings Viewer 2024. So not a ton this time around, but good stuff. But we also have a question that our packagers are kind of interested in answering, and I will put the kind of the survey up here in just a second. But this is the question. So post-pandemic remote work, it's shifted attitudes for software updates. Previously, we would disable automatic updates when possible for each app, giving more control on the versioning to the sysadmin. So a lot of admins are now actually wanting self-updating apps with managing more remote machines. What are your thoughts on this topic for your organization? And let me see if I can throw this up there so you can vote. And I'll put the link in the chat as well. So there you go. Vote on this little poll. We'll get the information back to our package folks, and life will be good. It will be a beautiful thing. Okay, let's move on to the reason we're here, PDQ&A.
PDQ&A. Okay, we got a lot of questions this week beforehand, which we love because we get a prep, right? Better answers, better prepared. But give us some more questions if you want.
I can say I don't know in more words.
Yeah,
That's right.
Give us some general questions if you want to throw them out there. We'll try to answer them.
And we also kind of bribe you when you do submit those questions in advance. You're in the running for some PDQ swag. So we'll announce the winners. I'll also reach out to you via email. We'll get you with some free stuff.
If we've learned anything, it's that they like free stuff.
Yeah.
Free
and,
stuff.
and let's be honest, the chat and Discord are going to have the real answers, the better answers anyway. So.
Well, we got to try.
You got to try.
We got to try. I want you guys to try and stump Josh. Let's do it. Let's make him hard.
All right. You guys ready to dive in?
Wayne's back.
Yep, Wayne's back.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. First question, we're off to the races. What is the optimal blend of Smart Deploy and PDQ D&I to decrease network load? Specifically looking for ways to optimize lab deployment where the Smart Deploy image is a light version of Windows and applications are pushed from Deploy. Should I include any applications on the base image? Sincerely, R. Crocker.
Oh, I thought it was RC Rocker.
That would be better.
I like that one better.
Good call.
So I think he's going to say it depends.
Oh, am I answering this?
Are you going to say it depends?
Yeah, I'm going to say it depends. Like that's going to be my generic answer all the time is it depends. So, but here's why I say it depends. Depends on how often you want to update your base image. Right? Like an application and an image gets compressed, it's smaller over the network, it's going to take less time. But let's say I put out an image with application version 1 and 3 weeks later, application version 2 comes out. Do I update the image?
Which is kind of time consuming, takes a couple hours.
Not hard, but you can do it. Or do I not? So,
Well, so let me ask you this. Do you have departments that use different applications? So would you want to maintain an image for sales versus production, blah, 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 that have different applications? Maybe it's worth your while. Or do you want to keep your image really clean and update it less often?
yeah, it depends.
Kind of depends.
Just know that if you do stiffen it, application and image, it's going to be smaller than just using deploy or some other way because it gets compressed.
But is it going to be considerably smaller that it really matters for your network? How big is your network? That's another question.
It depends.
That's a good answer, I think.
Okay. Ready for our next question?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Can we use PDQ to facilitate logons to a server? Let's say I have to log into 35 servers. I'd rather not have to manually input my credentials each time. Is there a safe answer to this question? Sincerely, Carl D.
Depends on your
I was going to say,
definition of
please
safe.
don't say depends. No.
Well, what's safe? And what type of logon?
Depends.
Ooh, I don't know that I like that. Yeah, I agree with Alexander. It's an XY. Why do you need to log in? And actually, when you do a deploy or a scan with inventory, there is a login that happens. It's a non-interactive login. I'm sure you could call some of the shell controls to do an interactive login. Like, I'm sure you could, but it would be kind of messy. Maybe use something like a remote desktop connection manager. Put them all in a group, double-click the whole group, log in all at once.
Yeah, because it saves your credentials. Inherit from parent, you're done.
And then again, though, what's your definition of safe?
PowerShell. People are saying PowerShell. What do you think about that one?
You can touch the shell components in Windows to probably facilitate the login. But yeah, I think remote desktop connection manager is the win there.
Okay.
All right. Next question. Are there pre-configured deployment routines for Autodesk products? How about for custom add-ins developed for Autodesk products? Essentially, need to be able to deploy certain build versions with the INI files and add-ins we want so that it's not a manual process. Pretty sure the answer is yes. I am just not an IT guru. Sincerely, R. Brown.
I know you know the answer, but just for fun,
You have it.
I reached out to Andrew, and there's a whole blog on it. So we just included it in the description for the YouTube video.
Nice.
You can just follow along
Yeah.
because it's kind of a bear.
It is a step-by-step, and Autodesk products are kind of gnarly.
So check the description if you want to do that one.
Okay. Moving right along. Next question. Are there any plans to add the import-export XML functions of PDQ Deploy into its command line interface? BD Stroud.
Well, I asked support, and they said, I'd like that too. But there's no timeline yet.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's documented,
Yeah.
but no timeline.
Easy enough. Next question. I currently have licenses for PDQ Inventory and Deploy. How do you convert, or can it coincide with PDQ Connect? Jason P.
Sales.
That's a great question. Yeah, that's definitely a time to kind of engage with sales about options that are available there. One thing that I can say that Andrew informed me of right before this webcast is if you have an active deploy and inventory license, your Connect minimum device count limit is removed.
That's
So
nice.
if you want to do, some with deployed inventory, some with Connect, that you have some flexibility there. So sales is your best option there.
Nice.
Okay, next question. Is there a roadmap for upcoming features to be added to deploying inventory? I would say probably deploy and inventory. I know most of the new things these days are going into Connect, but for those of us using DNI, what do we have to look forward to?
There is not a public roadmap for deploying inventory. So the short answer to that question is no. There isn't something that we can show like we have for Connect for that product. But there are new things coming to deploy inventory all the time. Like we just talked about with the export to XML. Still no timeline on that, but those features are still getting, put into the products that are still an active product lifecycle there.
Okay, next question. This one's a novel. Are you ready? We're generating compliance reports for systems that have not been updated with the latest version of X application. The attached document sometimes is empty. How can I avoid PDQ sending empty file attachments when all systems are compliant? FYI, compliance reports are sent automatically to our ticketing system, creating a ticket with basically no actions to take. Arribas.
Ooh, this is one of those tricky ones, and it kind of like back up a little bit about how inventory works. So inventory is not keeping historical data. It's the data it has is accurate as of the last scan.
Okay.
Right. So if I'm generating these reports, like I report set a report at this time and I fire it off. The next time a scan happens, all that data that was in that report is now gone from the database perspective. So when I set up a report that says every day do this thing, it fires a report based off of its current context. So I know the chat's going wild right now about, hey, this has been a feature request for a long time. And yes, it is absolutely an active feature request because I feel the pain.
Yeah.
But that's why those reports are getting sent. I know it doesn't make it any less painful for creating those tickets, but at least you know why now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it more or less painful now that Connect has a handy little checkbox in there?
Less painful if you're using Connect. So, and yes, the basilisk is out and about.
Yeah. Deal with it all winter.
Yep.
Okay, let's do another question, shall we?
Let's start hissing, and then we'll just cover it.
Yes.
I feel like we're all doing it.
If you speak partial tongue, you're in luck. All right.
Is there a better way to import information into inventory from a CSV? Adding the data makes it get mad, stating duplicate entries from the device added by name imports and entering known data such as MAC doesn't work without a custom value. MB Shonoyo.
You want to take a stab? You want me to take a stab?
You take a step. I'm just laughing because Alex said Jordan Spirit, and then they said Alexa Spirit.
We're being haunted.
Perfect. We're going to go with that.
Importing data into inventory. I'm going to go on a limb. We're going to talk custom fields.
Okay.
Custom fields, as you import stuff, if there's duplicates, you're going to get errors.
Yeah.
There's not a better way to get data in.
Yeah.
There's other ways, not supported ways. Like
Sneaky ways. Yeah.
Yeah, like you want to go shove something in the database, you can do that. Don't recommend it. You're going to break something because you don't know the schema. So that CSV importer is the way to do it because it programmatically understands the schema of the database.
Okay.
So short answer is no, there's not a better way to do it. A CSV is the way to get that data in.
Okay. So it's the best way. It has some flaws every now and again, but it's still the best way.
Yeah, I mean, like you get garbage data in, you're going to get garbage data out. So maybe work on sanitizing that CSV as you're bringing it in.
Makes sense. Okay.
All right, next question.
It's going to be minus 25 there, James. Holy crap. Did you see that?
Oh,
I thought it was cold here.
Not cool.
Where are you at, James? I got to know.
Yeah.
Wyoming?
He'll add that. There's a delay.
You
Alaska?
said Minnesota, but
Minnesota? Wow.
oh, Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Ugh.
Yikes.
All right, next question. For updating services like VPN and whatnot, is there a way to have the local PDQ Deploy server copy the entire package over to the endpoint so it continues to run after the computer gets booted off the VPN network? We can create a batch script to accomplish this, but a solution built directly into PDQ would be much easier and cleaner. Josh V.
I agree with Josh. Josh is right. It would be clean to have that in there. The problem is that's just not the way that deploy works without having an agent. Each step is copied over. There's a KB out there. I think it's called PDQ Deploy, how it works. That kind of outlines every step along the way. So what's going to happen is all of the contents of that package, like the binaries, are going to go into, I think, I could be wrong, C Windows, admin arsenal with System 32's exec is that path, if I remember off the top of my head. And then it gets started. So if something interrupts that network connection, the files are still there, but it can't get the next step. So it's not really clean. And so really all you can do is like a file copy step and then like a scheduled task, or maybe a file copy step, and then just the only other step in your package is the command step or PowerShell step to kick off the installer. But it would be nice to have that auto reconnect in the case of a VPN, something like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
All right, ready for another question? I hope so, because it's a long one. Here we go. I want to see why Google Chrome wasn't installed on a specific machine, but to do so, it seems I have to look through the list of deployments in PDQ Deploy under the Google Chrome installer and find the one where the install failed on that machine. To do so is laborious, as it requires me to look through long lists of machines that can be 100 plus machines long. From there, I can look at the install logs and see why the install failed. Bad DNS, multiple DNS, no DNS, blah, 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 blah. Is there a better way to do this? Alex.
Yes. Yes, there is a better way to do this.
Let's see it.
There's a better way to do this. So if you, let's say our computer here, Fruit Loops, we were trying to troubleshoot what got deployed and when. Like this is going to be your default screen, but if you come down here to deployments, you're going to see all of the deployments that have happened on this machine based on your settings you have for target history. So let's say we deployed Connect here. Maybe it was failed. We saw that this PS Windows update failed. We know the date, time, the runtime, and then the error.
Okay.
So rather than going at deploy and looking at all of the logs from deploy's perspective, search in PDQ inventory on the deployments tab for the specific computer.
Okay.
So you don't have to go look at everything. You can just look at the one computer you're trying to troubleshoot.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I hope it's easy.
Well, Josh makes it look easy.
You do make it look easy.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right. Next question. Has the team ever considered implementing a dashboard welcome page that provides an overall look, widgets, of what is going on with PDQ Deploy or inventory? Running deployments, total errors, updates required, number of devices, a choppa 45.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, I think it's been considered.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, absolutely been considered. Like all things product, it's what's more important and in what order. So yeah, it's definitely been considered, but what is more important, more valuable, I think is the question. I think it'd be cool. I like the idea.
I like that. I like stuff like that. I'm all about the widgets. I like to see everything in a one-stop shop. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think Kevin says like, yeah, it'd be nice because he's trying to build it with Power BI.
Oh, yeah.
And that can be challenging.
Yeah, I love Power BI or I hate it. It's one of the two things.
I think it's cool.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Because you're a robot.
I'm not good at it, but I think it's cool. I like consuming the data.
I do too. I also enjoy all the weather chat in there. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm having a squirrel moment. I'm trying to pay attention to the weather and the questions all at the same time.
Yeah.
Squirrel. All right, next question. My PDQ Deploy repository has become quite large in size. I might have been a little overzealous when selecting which updates and packages to download. What is the best way to A, delete the files, and B, stop them from downloading once PDQ Deploy realizes the files are missing? S. Schulze.
Can't you just clean it? Can't you just do the auto clean?
Yeah, I've done this before. I was curious one day and I was like, I don't know how big the entire library is.
Yeah.
It's like, and I wonder how long it'd take to download it. So I downloaded the entirety of the library.
Oh, okay.
Not the most recent version, but all the versions that were stored in the past.
Well, let's see.
So when you just delete them out of the repository, right? Here,
Yeah.
when you just delete them here, what you're deleting like the files that it's referencing.
Okay.
But what you're not deleting are these definitions, right? So like I've got these ones here and they're the definition and know what's there. So if I want to delete the files that are in the library, first, if I delete the definition of it, like I'm going to delete Chrome here, what's going to happen is now the definition of it is there. But if we go back to our repository, we'll see that the Chrome like installer is here and now it's orphaned. There's a feature for that. If we come back in here into deploy and we do a repository cleanup, we'll now see that, hey, you had Chrome as the definition, but now there's these MSIs that are unused, and we can come in here and we can delete them.
Oh, so I gotcha. So if you do step one first, then you have all the other files that are unused, so you'll clean up more space if you do that. Oh, that makes sense. Smart.
And then you don't have to think about it. You just make sure that your packages are what you want, and then go in and use the repository cleanup file or function.
That's smart.
Make it a
like
little
it.
easier for you.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. You got another one?
No, I didn't. I like that. Can you automatically delete all the unused files?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I thought
No, you can't, but you can have it throw a warning down here in the status bar. So like as you're getting more stuff, and it's package dependent, right?
Okay.
So like if we're in here and we've got like the properties of this package, how many are we keeping? I forgot where it's at. I got to go look live. Auto download, immediate. Oh, here we go.
save copies of previous versions. Set.
So
to-
here's where you can
okay.
define that so that it will automatically prune those out of your repository for
So
you.
5 is the default.
I think 5 is the default or what was here. If you want to limit it because you have lots of disk space, you can do something like that.
Okay.
Depends on how much you want to keep.
Cool.
So, they didn't see the screen share. Oh, here it is. Preferences, auto download, and then save copies of previous versions. Turn it to maybe you only want to keep 5. Save that, and then every 5.
Does 5 seem like a lot to you? Is it just me? Is 5 normal?
I don't know.
Okay. What do I know?
I don't know. 5, 7, 3. Pick an odd number because an even number just sounds weird
Does it sound weird?
to me.
Okay. So it's not like RAM where it should be even. 5 feels better to you?
Sure.
Okay.
5's a great number.
They're really liking the Basilisk sound. Do you see that?
That's really good.
I know.
It's good today.
Let's just hiss.
All right, next question. Are we ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Another shorter novel, but why can I export a package from one PDQ Deploy instance and import it into another Deploy instance, and the item appearance changes that I made copy over? Okay, so the changes he made copy over with no problem, but I can't do the same thing in PDQ inventory. Exporting PDQ inventory collections from one instance and importing them into another instance. All item appearance changes that had been made are gone. Can this be fixed? Chris J. Is that Chris Jericho, the wrestler? Sweet.
Huh. That's a neat trick. I'm a little stumped.
The appearance of what, I guess, would be my first
I think
question.
we're talking about like these. If we can show the screen here, I think the shortcut. No, that's not the shortcut. Right click, item appearance, Control Shift F2.
Mm-hmm. So icons and stuff.
make
I
this
would totally
one
care about that. So I get
Make
it.
this one an apple. Mm-hmm. So if I understand this question right, is when I do this and I export this guy to XML, we save the apple. Mm-hmm. But if I do the same thing in inventory,
It goes back to the standard icon.
it goes back to the standard
That would
icon.
totally bug me. I'm on board.
Here's why I think there's probably a bug. I'm going to say probably because I'm not 100% sure, but I think the behavior should be the same between two. Mm-hmm. Here's why I'm also a little stumped. If I remember right, I hope there's someone in the chat that can correct me if I'm wrong. All of the appearances are stored under HKey current user. So I don't know if it's supposed to keep that or if it's only keeping it because it's you on both.
Interesting.
That's cool. I think that's definitely worth a ticket to look into. Because it should be the same between both.
Oh, yeah.
What I want to know is how many people are rolling their eyes like, that's so ridiculous. Who cares about that? Because I would totally care about that. It would bug me a lot.
I care
Wayne
about it
is-
just because it should be the same.
Wayne is saying, you're right.
Oh, and it's weird because it is in the current user context. Cool. That's
All
a
right.
neat trick, inventory.
There you go. Let's move on to another question, shall we?
Yeah.
How would you go about creating a report that gets a list of software from a certain publisher and get a count of each of those programs, Jason?
Ooh, I can show this one.
Let's do it.
I can show this one. All right. So let's start with a new report. We'll just do a basic report. All right. Here's the things we want to show. We want to show computer name. And I think we wanted application publisher. I'm going to do the name too, just because it'll help me troubleshoot if I mess this up. And let's do the application publisher. All right, now we need to filter. So this is where we would put the publisher that we are trying to look for. Off the top of my head, I'm going to do Microsoft.
That'll
I'm just
give
going to
you
do
a
micro
lot of
just because I know
results.
it's going to give me something here. And I'm going to run it. All right, I'm going to have kind of an ugly looking report right now because we want counts. So if I come into this publisher, right, and I group by this column, then I have all of these publishers that are here and the counts and the name of the application that is on it and how many. So let's find one that has 10.
And the machine name. I saw the machine name, yeah.
So like if Microsoft Corporation was the publisher we were looking for, right, we could see that on Microverse 1, there's all of these ones here and the count of unique.
Cool.
And you're right. I did the wrong one. Let's say application publisher contains micro and run it. Same thing here. We can group by this column and we can say everything by Microsoft. There's 18 of Microsoft Edge and all of the instances that were there.
Nice.
So the group by is really what you're at here for the counts. You can tweak it to be exactly what you want.
Love it. You know what I think we should do one time, just for fun? Let's do a webcast where we do everything wrong and wait for the chat to correct us.
Like I said in the beginning of this,
serious.
we're going to give answers here, but the real answers
I know.
are going to come in the chat and in Discord.
Yeah, I think that'd be the best. So did you see what Chris said? He asked the question about the XML, look for the file settings, it's on inventory.
Weird. Weird.
Okay.
Right.
So ticket.
Yeah.
Let's take another question. I'd like to know if PDQ Connect has the option to upload a package that has been created in PDQ Deploy, or if there is a way to sync packages from PDQ Deploy. If not, that should be on the roadmap. Nevins.
We've heard that a bunch.
Yeah, we've heard that a bunch. It's not there.
It's not there yet, but we've told them.
I think I remember sitting down with, I don't remember who I did it on the team with, and we did this exact exercise of like, export, look at the definitions and do the manual translation to the Connect. It took us, 45 minutes.
I have a feeling we're going to talk about it next week at PDQ Week. Do you think?
I bet we do.
We'll bring it up.
Yeah.
I just want to say this really quick because James said, as an elder millennial, Discord confuses and scares me. Hey, James, me too. Just jump in there. It's okay. It's okay if you look stupid. I'll be there for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
It gets better.
It gets better. It gets easier.
All right, semi-novel for our next question. Here we go. Is there a way in Inventory or Deploy to keep track of software licensing? It would be great to be able to set dates and enter the license key information in one place that is associated with either Inventory or Deploy. I can see where to give individual machine license keys for a software, but not a place to keep track of the software itself other than the package notes. I'd love to be able to keep track of it here and get reminders when something is due. Dana W.
I get it. I get the request. The place to put it. I'm surprised that this is still here. I don't remember. Kelly, do you remember when product keys was retired?
No, but I know this is a question that has come up frequently over the years.
It was like a single digit version of inventory when this was deprecated. And the reason it was deprecated is we found out it became harder and harder to manually scan for these, to automatically scan. Stuff started getting encrypted. People stopped storing it there. It was just, the effort wasn't worth the return. So you can put them here manually, but then you just get the key and that's it. Maybe the better option is in custom fields, right? There's this import wizard. Maybe you've got some other application or even from the publisher itself that has the expiration date. You can go in and you can do some name mapping here. The thing it's not going to do for you is it's not going to give you that alerting.
Or watch last week's webcast and incorporate it into our documentation.
Yeah. Or you can
Put
do
it
that.
in Notion.
Yep. Maybe it's a cool feature. It's a cool idea. I understand the need. It just can't really do it with what we've got now.
Okay. Well, we're getting close on time. We have a few questions remaining. Let's see if we can bust these out in a speed round. Here we go. How do you troubleshoot the access denied error when attempting to access a device? R. Cruz.
I can give you my general troubleshooting steps for all things errors in Deploy inventory. I know we've got some errors here. This doesn't give you a ton of information. So what you can do is you don't actually have to submit this to support. You can just grab this entire error. Let's just throw it here in a notepad. All right. We can grab this entire error here and we can start to getting some more information. In an access denied, you're going to start seeing more than what's here for this. I couldn't wake this machine with wake on LAN, right? That's a pretty cut and dry error. In access denied, you're going to get more information in this stack. The other thing you can do is you can do some aside from being just DNS, you can kind of mimic what deploy and inventory do.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that they're going to access one of these machines. So we're going to say like, okay, I need to get to let's say Fruit Loops.
You missed
if I can type.
Yep.
Right. Can I do that with my configure deploy or scan user? If the answer is no, then I know. So you can just start testing outside of the applications, those basic connectivity things. So with the stack and those, it'll probably give you some better information to troubleshoot that.
Yeah. Those machines are in there and they have problems. But anyway, they keep turning themselves off.
Yeah, well, maybe we could just turn on wake on LAN.
They're angry. No, it's on. They get angry.
They are, yeah, they do get angry.
They're troublesome.
Okay, ready for another speed round question? That one wasn't much of a speed round, but it's not your fault. It was a difficult question. In PDQ Deploy for file copy, I haven't seen any documentation out there for only copying a certain aged file, such as I want to only copy zip files that are 1 day old. I know I can do it in RoboCopy, but I'd like to use file copy.
Actually, under the hood, we're actually using RoboCopy, but we're only exposing certain switches to the GUI. So that's a great feature request to add more to the file copy step. But RoboCopy is going to be your best bet.
Okay.
But it's a good feature request.
Okay.
Next question. Is it possible to import all created packages from PDQ Deploy to PDQ Connect?
I mean, not automatically, but it was a sit down. I had 2 monitors. I had Connect open on one, Deploy open on the other, and it took me 45 minutes to an hour.
All right, here we go. Speed round continues. Is it possible for a custom setting for Wake on LAN port so that we can set our own port number? Our environment runs on port 7 for magic ports. Kamal.
I'm stumped. I don't know if you can change that. I don't know if that's configurable in inventory. I don't know.
So do a ticket maybe?
Yep.
All right, we've got 4 more. Let's roll. Is there a way to automate app deployment? I would like to maintain a few baseline apps on PCs automatically. A. Tufts.
Yes.
Ooh, let's see how fast I can do this.
Hurry. Make a collection. Do it.
I'm going to do 7-zip on everything.
Yep.
So I'm going to create a schedule. I'm going to say deploy, pick a trigger here, target. We're going to say from PDQ inventory, a collection. And since we picked 7-zip, we'll do 7-zip. Oh, come on, inventory.
It's slow. I don't know why. Alex, are you keeping score in the chat, by the way, while he's doing that?
All right. Long story short, I'm going to pick 7-zip old here.
Yep, 7-zip.
Right. And then I'm going to click OK and set the time. Now, from this point forward, once I click OK, after I, pick the targets.
We're pretending there's targets. Yep,
Yeah.
I see them.
I pretended I picked those 7-zip not installed in old. What's going to happen is every time that inventory goes out there and it says, oh, it doesn't have it, on the next scheduled interval, Deploy is going to push it to that machine.
Perfect. Oh, Alex, he wasn't keeping score. Oh my gosh. That's discouraging, Alex. You are banned from your 3D printer for the next 3 days as punishment.
All right, 3 questions left. Let's do this thing. What is the best security practice for using domain credentials for PDQ Deploy? Halotech.
Laps.
Yep. Use laps. Principal, least privilege. Deploy needs local admin. Don't need domain admin. Don't need enterprise admin. Don't need that kind of stuff. And then laps with rotating passwords.
Or a service account that you have restricted credentials with if you can't do laps.
Sure.
Okay, next question. We currently have PowerShell.
The chat just broke me.
Chat is killing me today.
I wondered because y'all just lost it. That's good, though. We currently have PowerShell script to populate location with vSphere info like vCenter, clusters, CSX for computer object. How can we add this location data to PDQ inventory?
Ooh, I would totally want that.
Ooh, custom fields.
I love crap like that. Okay.
Custom fields is your winner there. And I think it's a command line option. So in inventory, if you pick a computer, custom fields, there's this import wizard here. So you can get that data.
Okay, I don't know this, so I'm actually going to ask. So I know it's speed round, but I got to know. Can you export that out of vCenter? Could you export it in CSV and then upload it in here?
Yeah, as long as it all matched.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as your headers matched, you'd be fine.
I would love that.
Okay, final question of the day. Here we go. Is there a way to see what deployments are currently running and scheduled for a certain device? Russell K.
Ooh, Russell, scheduled, no. You can't see what's scheduled to come up. But for running, if you have something that's running, you'll see this deployments. You'll have this animation here, and then you'll see the status.
Down there.
But you're not going to see the scheduled stuff coming up for it. You don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's going to have an old version of 7-zip next week. It might release it, might not.
Okay.
All right. I think that is it for our PDQ&A questions today.
All right. That is all for today. Thanks, Josh. I'm going to say you did 82.
You can say it, but it's not true.
Okay, but amazing nonetheless. Thank you guys for all your questions. That is all for this job, this week PDQ&A. Thanks for joining. For PDQ, I'm Tara.
And I'm Josh.
Thanks for joining our webcast today, and thank you for submitting your questions in advance and being registered to win some free stuff. So winners today are Brown, Kellum Vor, and Josh V. And let's do one more. Let's do Chris J. I will be reaching out to you via email, or you can send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.